Welcome to Infectious Laughter Podcast,
where real, ridiculous, and relatable moments from working in healthcare are shared.
We respect HIPAA because it's real, and we like our licenses. Now let's do this with culture and sensitivity. Welcome to episode 3, everyone. Somehow Nancy and I talked so much about animals last episode that we suddenly started talking about airplanes and had to create 2 episodes out of one audio-video session. So without further ado, here is our next episode. I've had patients say to me before they've gotten on an airplane, you know, they kind of felt okay, but maybe something was brewing. And by the time they land, it's much worse.
We see that a lot. Being in a city with tourism, a lot of tourism, we get a lot of patients who, I have CHF and I wasn't feeling great, or I felt something brewing, but the vacation was planned for a year and I didn't want to disappoint the kids. And, by the time they get to us, they're very, very sick.
Yeah. We have a lot of people who come, straight from the airport.
Yeah. Or the cruise, whatever. Actually, we're not, close to the ocean, but I've had patients who got sick on cruises and they ended up with us.
It would be very unethical, but I've wondered if there could be a study done where, specifically an infection, because of course that's what I do, was known to be just starting and someone chose to get on a plane. Does it something about the air pressure or something, the not moving as much, the whole thing?
The air is drier. You get dehydrated.
Kind of the infection takes off more than if that patient had not flown.
Yes, that's very possible.
Yeah. Completely unethical.
Yes.
To be like, yes, this is clearly going to be a problem. Sometimes that sharing that information with patients, that we've had those experiences where people have come off the airport, come off the airplane and right, to the hospital.
Right.
Sometimes patients are more willing to stay in the hospital to have their infection under control before they fly home.
Yes.
And also, I think some airlines won't let you fly if you were recently in the hospital without a letter if they're aware of.
Right. I only know that, if they need to fly with oxygen, that's a whole deal. They have to have a letter. There's a HAST test, which is a high altitude, I forget what it stands for, but because of the pressurized cabin and the thinner air, if they need to travel with oxygen, there needs to be a letter to the airline. Obviously, they can't be on really high flow oxygen. But I don't know about if they've recently been sick. I suppose if they're symptomatic, they can't fly. Although a lot of people get on planes with colds and things.
Have you ever been on a plane and had to say you were a nurse?
No, the closest I came, I was on a flight cross country and we had to, they told us we were diverting. We landed somewhere in Kansas and they took a woman off who apparently had had a stroke while on the plane. Interestingly enough, at the time, I worked on a stroke unit, and I don't even remember them asking if there was a doctor on board previous to, landing. I saw them take her off, and they said that she had had a stroke.
Oh.
So we had to land, at the closest airport to get her help because, as you know, that's a time thing, time sensitive.
Yeah, the faster someone who's displaying symptoms of a stroke gets intervention at the hospital, the more likely they are not to have residual problems.
Right. And within a certain time frame, you can treat it. Now we get into this. There are 2 types of strokes. clots and bleeds, ischemic or hemorrhagic. If it's ischemic, if you treat it within a certain amount of time, they can get the clot busters, and they are very successful in not being symptomatic.
Clot busters just makes me think of like Drano. It's not Drano, but yes, no. That's true.
It's a super anticoagulant.
Yes. Did I ever tell you about the time that I stood up and said I was a medical person on an airplane? Oh my God, Nancy. I was going to visit my brother, and I was going to run a half marathon the next day. So I used to be a distance runner, like I'd said. Mm-hmm. I don't do it now because my knees and hip can't take it anymore. But I'm on this flight, and it was weird because I was in the middle seat, but I didn't care. I was by myself, whatever. I just put my earbuds in, and I was looking forward to this movie I had downloaded. And this gentleman to my right, he got on the plane. He got on the plane. I can't speak properly today. And he sat down and just folded his hands and just sat there, Nancy.
There's a name for that. That's a thing now. People just sitting doing nothing on a plane. I forget what it's called.
Okay. Well, more peace to you. But it was weird. No Sudoku, crossword, nothing. Magazine. I miss Sky Mall.
Oh, yeah.
I used to love looking at that. Anyway.
I forgot about that, yeah.
I'm starting my movie, and I sense this rush of people. And so I take my earbuds out, and I look to Quiet Man. And I said, did they announce anything overhead? Is anything going on? He goes, I don't know what's happening. And I go, okay, well, something's happening though, right? He was like, yeah, something's up. I'm like, okay. So I just put my earbuds back in. Next thing you know, I hear bing, ladies and gentlemen. If there is a medical person on the plane, we would appreciate if you would stand up and identify yourself.
Oh my.
So I've heard about this happening. And a lot of people will wait because they don't want to be the first one.
Right. Well, sometimes it's an ophthalmologist.
I didn't really wait long. I just kind of looked around and nobody was standing up. So I stood up and nobody came to see me.
Oh.
Quiet Man moved so that I could leave my row. And I went about, 15, 20 rows back where there's this hub of activity. And one of the flight attendants has the earphones plugged in the ceiling about 10 rows before the location where all the drama was happening. So this wire is like hitting people. And there's this woman crying, and there's this other woman kind of like barking orders. And the woman barking orders was a passenger.
Oh.
I said, excuse me, did you need a medical person? And they said, yes. I said, well, I'm a nurse practitioner. I don't know if I can help or not. And the barking orders lady said, well, can you produce your license? Yeah. Do you travel with your license?
No, I don't.
Yeah, it's in a lockbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, no, I can't, but my license number is, and of course I rattle it off. I mean, I know it like I know my social security number. And she goes, well, I guess that'll do. And I said, well, okay, what's going on? And so there's 3 seats. In the aisle is a man just sitting there looking kind of confused. The middle seat is the barking lady.
Oh. And
the window seat is unoccupied. I find out that the window seat was the wife of the aisle seat patient. I say patient because he was the problem. And she was the one in the aisle crying. Apparently, the gentleman completely lost consciousness, and they couldn't arouse him. And so they hit the flight attendant button, and they came to help. So all of a sudden, a flight attendant is producing orange juice and an oxygen tank is showing up. I imagine they have a protocol.
Do they have a way of checking blood sugar?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Talking to the patient before this rush of supplies arrives.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, do you have a medical history, diabetes, high blood pressure, unusual heart rhythms, AFib, anything like that? He's like, no, nothing. I said, did you take any medication before you got on the flight? Now, he's an older gentleman. So he says, well, I took one Advil.
Okay, well, that shouldn't
No,
do anything.
but I said, well, why did you take the Advil? And he goes, well, I just didn't want to get a headache on the flight. And so I thought one Advil would help.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. So then
Is he prone to headaches?
I didn't even get that far.
Okay.
Because next thing you know, the orange juice was produced and he's forced to drink it, even though he's not a diabetic. Now, maybe he didn't know he was a diabetic. Right? Because unfortunately, people don't always get medical care.
Hoping he wasn't in DKA or diabetic ketoacidosis.
Or something.
Right.
So I imagine the flight attendants are like, okay, well, diabetics can pass out if their sugar's low. And
True.
So we give them orange juice.
Right.
And so but maybe he didn't have enough oxygen. So we're going to put this oxygen nasal cannula thing on. So I'm talking to him and Nancy, he goes out.
Just unconscious.
Completely unconscious. And so I'm trying to arouse him and I give him the sternal rub, which is very painful. And
if done properly.
Right. Well, I did it.
Yes.
And he didn't respond. And I'm thinking, oh.
Did he have a pulse?
I couldn't get one.
Okay.
But also, it's really hard in a high stress situation to get a pulse.
Plus, they're sitting.
Right.
We're all taught with CPR.
They're laying down.
Right.
So, and so if there's something going on with his heart to pump that blood up to here,
Right.
So I thought, oh, Lord, I'm going to have to do CPR on this man. And this aisle is skinny.
Right.
And as I'm about to inform the flight attendants that we're going to have to do CPR, he woke up.
How odd.
Now, the lady, by the way, who'd been giving commands, she was a deadhead flight attendant.
Ah.
She knew what to do. And I just thanked the good Lord that this man woke up. And they hand me a blood pressure cuff and what I would consider a Fisher-Price stethoscope.
So the old manual kind of blood pressure cuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And I had to kind of reassemble the stethoscope because it was falling apart. So, this piece wasn't attached.
Okay.
And when I put it in my ears, I like to tap so I could hear. I could hardly hear anything. Well, whatever. This is what they have on board.
Right.
And I don't travel with my handy-dandy stethoscope, and I
don't
travel
either.
with my license.
Right.
So I put the blood pressure cuff on him. And Nancy, I am trying to pump that sucker up. And it doesn't go anywhere.
Oh, my gosh.
So I thought, well, I don't do bedside nursing anymore. Maybe it's not righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So I try going the other way.
All right.
Nothing. I'm like, all right. Everyone is watching me.
Right, of course.
So I turn it to the right, and I give it like that half marathon oxygen, rich muscle pump.
Right.
And I'm able to get the needle to kind of move. But I can't hear jack from the stethoscope. But luckily, when you take the blood pressure,
right, you see the needle
jumps. It's not 100% accurate, but
right.
it was kind of, I don't know, 90s over 60s, so a little low, but not, you're going to lose consciousness on me.
Right.
So he seems to settle down. He seems to be okay. They decide they're not going to divert the flight.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to get him off that plane so quick.
Well, they announced there's going to be no in-flight beverage service or snack. They instruct me to go back to my seat. and I am to wait there.
Until he passes out for a third time.
Right. So I said to the lady with the headset and the swishing cord, I will go back to my seat. But every 10 minutes of this flight, I'm getting up and I'm checking on this man. Or you're going to seat me next to him. And they agreed to send me back to my seat. And every 10 minutes, I was going to get up. And Silent Man did not take the middle seat, Nancy.
Oh.
I checked on him every 10 minutes. He's stable.
Okay.
He's talking. Felt okay. And even when he lost consciousness, he goes, I was talking to you, and then I don't even know what happened.
Huh.
And then the flight attendants come up to me, and they're like, we need your information, so for the medical, whatever. And I go, okay, I'll give it to you. And so they give me like a scrap piece of paper that was clearly like ripped off of another piece of paper, but sort of like the corner. And I write my name and my license
Your license number.
Yeah. And then they want my address. So I give them that. And then they're like, so when we land, we want you to get off with the gentleman so you can talk to the EMTs. I'm like, oh, well,
okay,
sure.
Yeah.
Then a little later, they come up to me and they say, yeah, we don't need you to do that. And I'm like, okay. And then they come up to me again. We're going to need you to do that.
Oh, my gosh.
And I said, look, I'm on this flight until we land. And I'll do whatever you want. You just tell me before we land.
Right. How much longer was the flight?
I'd say it was about an hour and a half.
Hmm.
So it was a lot of every 10 minutes getting up and climbing over Quiet Man and checking on the patient. But, I was not watching the movie I was like on alert.
Right.
And I forgot that after he woke up and I tried to get the blood pressure and all that good stuff, one of the young flight attendants in front of the patient and his wife said, why did he turn so gray?
Oh, gray is never good.
And I said, well, I don't think his heart was beating.
Right.
And she said, well, why would that make him gray?
Mm.
And, you got to come up real fast with an answer that's not going to freak the crap out of everybody. And I said, well...
his blood wasn't circulating.
Yeah, right. I says, well, when your blood is what gives you your flesh color.
Right.
And when it's not getting everywhere, you're going to change colors.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, oh.
And the wife is just
crying in the aisle, and so happy he's awake.
Right.
Right. She didn't ask me any questions or anything.
Did you get off with the patient and talk to the EMTs?
No, they said I didn't have to. But we saw as we were landing, the
ambulance.
The ambulance lights and
they
everything.
did take him off first.
They
make
did.
everybody
We were all told
good
to sit and wait.
Right.
And they apologized for not providing the beverage service that we were all so looking forward to. And I said to Quiet Man, after the patient, I didn't want him to walk off the plane. Because I don't know, does he have a blocked artery?
He walked off the plane?
He walked off the plane, Nancy.
Oh, I thought they were going to put him on a stretcher.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. So some decision was made somewhere above my pay grade, I guess.
Right.
And apparently I'm only good enough for a corner of a paper to get my information. I held my breath the whole time he was walking.
Oh, I'm sure.
As I was waiting for him to go down.
Did they ever contact you?
No. Huh. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know.
See, that's always hard, not knowing the outcome.
Yeah.
Which we deal with a lot.
Which I imagine like EMTs, paramedics, that's what they get, right? 'Cause
and the ER.
Then the ER, they don't know. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I turned to Quiet Man and I said, well, how do you like that? I go, I didn't get a thank you from the flight attendants or anything. Not even a drink coupon.
Yeah, really?
And he goes, well, I think they should give you a free flight. Ended up doing about a week or two later is I went online to that airline site and I left like a comment. You can email I don't know, somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I was very upset about the equipment on board.
Yes.
I mean, if you have a rotted
needs to-
out
yes.
blood pressure cuff and a Fisher-Price stethoscope that you're going to hand off to a medical professional.
It should be functional.
Yeah.
Do they now, how long ago was this? Approximately.
I want to say 2 years ago.
Oh,
Maybe.
so do airplanes have AEDs, automatic defibrillators?
Oh.
Because most public places do now.
Yeah, and they're in the airports. I've seen them in the
They're in the airports, but do they have them on the airplane?
I feel like we need to Google this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The nice thing about an AED, everyone should know, is that it tells you the steps, what to do. You just turn it on and it'll tell you to put the pads on. It'll tell you, each step, which is nice.
So they do. They do have AEDs per regulations.
Okay.
What they don't have is those little clippy things to give you a heart rate
And
an
a
oxygen. Set.
Okay, if they have an AED, they should have a decent blood pressure cuff.
Yeah. He did have a smartwatch, so he told me it could show me his EKG.
Really?
Yeah.
That would have been interesting to see.
Yeah, I was like, dude, right now your pulse is going, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that wraps us up for today, Nancy. Sounds good. Yeah?
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So until next time,
All right.
we'll keep doing this with culture and sensitivity. So there you go. So we went from animal bites to airplanes,
Right.
which both begin with A.
Are we doing these episodes alphabetically?
Oh, God. That would be really hard.
It would.
Yeah. I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Any organization or other entities.
Any educational or health-related discussions are meant for general information and entertainment only. They're not medical advice and are not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your own healthcare provider for any medical concerns or decisions.
While we make every effort to ensure accuracy, we make no guarantees about the completeness, reliability, or accuracy of the information presented. Medicine is always evolving and content may become outdated.
The hosts and producers of this podcast explicitly disclaim any liability or loss incurred directly or indirectly as a result of the use or application of any of the content presented.
And most importantly, we laugh with our patients and coworkers, never at them, because nursing is serious work, but it comes with seriously funny moments.
This podcast may contain discussions of medical procedures or topics that some may find sensitive. Listener discretion is advised.